Sarin Pyar Pari Sat Sri Akal, मैं थाड़ी अपनी Sonia West. Welcome to Khas Mulakat. Today I have the pleasure of interviewing Steve Kooner. He is MLA for Richmond, Queensborough, and also he is the critic for Attorney General. So we're going to talk to him about what's happening in our community, very important issues that are not being addressed. So at least we've got someone to fight that battle for us. So let's welcome to the studio Steve Kooner. Sat Sri Akal.
Sat Sri Akal, Sanjha, and Sat Sri Akal to all your viewers.
Yes,
and it's a pleasure to be here today.
Very good. I said that you're fighting for us because there's a lot going on in the community which both, I would say, tragic and very scary things are happening. Dar lagda hai, we don't feel safe. You have to help us get the word out, and you're critic for Attorney General. And so you're fighting this battle. So let's talk about what happened. So kei kuch hoya the past, the which the horn recently Ontario the both badi tragedy hoyi hai. So let's start with what you've been fighting for in the past, and let's lead up to what happened in Ontario.
As a critic for Attorney General?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, the justice the portfolio haga, it's handled by the Attorney General. From the official opposition, मैं critic haga.
Okay.
So basically, kei कहते terminology used करते shadow Attorney General.
Okay.
So basically, मेरा जिहड़ा काम हैगा देखना justice portfolio properly निभाई जांदी हैगी है. And basically concern hagia, and then J concern hagia to raise those concerns. So and then concern raise karto alawa also to give solutions.
Okay.
Right? Ki hor ki ho sakda hega. So hon aapa press release karke hate hege.
Yes.
2-3 दिन होए हैगे इस press release ਨੂੰ, and basically extortion ਜਿਹੜੇ case ਕਾਫੀ ਬੰਦੇ ਸੁਣ ਰਹੇ ਹੈਗੇ, extortion case ਹੋਏ ਹੈਗੇ in the community.
ਇੱਥੇ Surrey ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੋਏ ਸਕੇ.
Ji, not only Surrey, in other parts of BC as well, right?
Okay.
So a ongoing issue haga because like somebody reached out to me and said that they just had something that happened to them recently.
Okay.
So this issue is far from over.
Yes.
And ਜਿਹੜੀ community ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਕਾਫੀ ਉਮੀਦਾਂ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ provincial government ਕੋਲ ਕਰੇ, and ਕੋਈ solution ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਵੇ. Safety issue ਕਾਫੀ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, and so ਮੈਂ community ਲਈ ਖੜਾ ਹੈਗਾ. And just last year, ਆਪਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ, press conference ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀਗਾ. It was at Reflections Banquet Hall.
ਪਿਛਲੇ ਸਾਲ. Okay.
And because community ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਾਫੀ ਕੁਝ concern ਸੀਗੇ, and the community got together, hold hoya saga press conference. And Memi, as a member of the community, I attended that press conference. Not as a politician, I wasn't running for just anything. Concerned. I was very concerned. I've been an entrepreneur, as a lawyer entrepreneur.
That's right.
For well over a decade. And so basically I was very concerned. I attended a press conference, and I saw a lot of friends there as well, a lot of community leaders there as well. And Attorney General BIC, and basically Attorney General listened. After that press conference, the community सोचती थी कि हम government भी इतने शामिल होई हैगी आ, maybe कोई solution आऊगे, उम्मीदां सीगियां, right? But हम तुसीं जे global दी story, global TV ने story कीती सी after Harjeet Dada's ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ death ਹੋਈ Ontario ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, and फिर basically दो community leaders ਸੀਗੇ ਜਾਂ business community ਦੇ members ਸੀਗੇ local, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਦੇ ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਡਰ ਹੈਗਾ, ਨਾਲੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਇੱਕ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਲੀਡਰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕੁਝ ਆਪਾਂ ਐਕਸ਼ਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਹੈਗਾ ਕੋਈ, ਰਾਈਟ?
ਸੋ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੀਏ ਕਰਕੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਆ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਨਿਊਜ਼ ਦੇਖੀ ਹੋਗੀ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੋਗਾ ਜਾਂ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਹਰਜੀਤ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ, ਪਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਬਾਰੇ ਦੱਸੋ what actually happened to Harjeet Dada?
Well, basically, I hear the same thing. Jo media ne report kita, ona di family ki kendi si, right? Oh, kende sige talk karte se extortion de, basically demand si paise extortion ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਉਹ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪੈਸੇ ਮਿਲਣ. So family ਵੀ ਇਹੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੀ ਸੀਗੀ in that news story, and ਉਹ similar ਜੋ tactic ਉਹ ਦੱਸਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ, ਉਹ similar tactic ਇੱਥੇ BC ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ use ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀਗਾ.
So ਜਿਹੜਾ Ontario ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋਇਆ ਹਰਜੀਤ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ, ਉਹ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸਮੈਨ ਸੀਗੇ, ਤਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪੈਸੇ ਦਿਓ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਤਾਂ ਸੀ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਦੇਣੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੇ, ਫਿਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਕਤਲ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ. That's basically the gist.
That's basically a gist I hear from jo family ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਸੀ
Right.
in that global news story, right?
It's so scary.
Yes.
And very similar in other parts of in our province in BC. So ਹੁਣ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਦੱਸੋ.
Well, ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਉਹ story ਦੇਖੀ,
ਹਾਂਜੀ.
ਮੈਂ video review ਕੀਤੀ, ਮੈਂ story read ਕੀਤੀ, and ਫਿਰ ਮੈਂ ਦੇਖਿਆ local member ਇੱਥੇ ਕੀ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਆ BC ਦੇ, ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕੁਝ ਹੋ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈਗਾ. ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਗਲਤ ਹੈ. ਮੈਂ ਆਪ ਗਿਆ ਸੀਗਾ press conference last year as a community member, and ਦੇਖਣ ਲਈ ਕੀ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ, and ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ how could it be there's been no action. And ਫਿਰ ਮੇਰੇ ਖਿਆਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ I've been debating the Attorney General on a couple of different bills. And so ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ mandate letter ਵੀ review ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀਗਾ, ਜਿਹੜਾ mandate letter ਆਉਂਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ premier ਤੋਂ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ to the Attorney General.
Okay.
And ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕੀ priority ਹੋਣੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ for the Attorney General, ਕਿਹੜੀ action ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਲੈਣੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ. ਜੋ ਮੈਂ ਪੜਿਆ ਸੀਗਾ there was nothing about this extortion, ਜਿਹੜਾ South Asian business community ਦਾ extortion ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈਗਾ. So ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ just last year the Attorney General ਉਹ ਆਏ ਸੀਗੇ press conference, ਉਮੀਦਾਂ ਸੀਗੀਆਂ community ਵੱਲੋਂ, community ਸੋਚ ਰਹੀ ਸੀ step ਲੈਣੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, and ਜਿਹੜਾ mandate letter it was happened like in a few months ago. So it was not too long after the press conference's mandate letter came out. It should have been in there. We hear a lot about the current provincial government. The NDP provincial government talks about inclusion and diversity and all that. When that's now we need the action. The diverse community needs action.
Right.
So rather than lip service, we need action for the community.
Actually, the press release is entitled "Extorted and Ignored. NDP abandoned South Asian businesses." So, I mean, business both jade the if we're not getting the support, especially when it's something to do with a life and death matter.
Sani ji, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖੋ ਹੁਣ ਟੈਰਿਫ ਦਾ ਚੱਕਰ ਚੱਲਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ. ਬੇਸਿਕਲੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਰੰਟ ਪ੍ਰੋਵਿੰਸ਼ੀਅਲ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਉਹ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੀ ਆ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਆਹ ਕੁਛ ਕਰਨਾ ਪੈਣਾ ਬਿਕਾਜ਼ ਟੈਰਿਫ ਆ, ਟਰੰਪ ਆ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈਗਾ. ਓਕੇ, ਫਿਰ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਤੇ ਫੋਕਸ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ. ਸੋ ਆ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਬਜੈਕਟ ਮੈਟਰ ਆ, ਇਟਸ ਦ ਸਾਊਥ ਏਸ਼ੀਅਨ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ. So ਜੇ important ਹੈਗਾ ਇਸ government ਨੂੰ to deal with the tariffs, strong ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ the economy here in BC. South Asians ਹੁਣ ਛੋਟੀ ਜੀ population ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਹੀ ਹੈਗੀ. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖ ਲਓ BC ਸੂਬੇ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ over 10% population ਹੋਣੀ ਹੈ South Asian. ਸਾਡਾ ਆਪਣਾ ਭਾਈਚਾਰਾ, right? So basically ਜੇ ਇੰਨੀ population ਹੈਗੀ ਆ, and the government is serious about fighting tariffs, and they were serious about promoting economy, how come they haven't given their hand out and said these are the steps that we are taking? This South Asian business community is a high priority for us. How come they have not said that, and how come they have not given their priorities? It's fine enough that police gets involved and police does their work and all that, but that's not enough. Enough nahi hega. There needs to be a sense of leadership taken by the provincial government as well. Right.
Sade jo premier ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੋਈ statement ਦਿੱਤੀ ਸੀ ਇਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ?
Well, not that I've heard of. I haven't heard anything.
Not enough anyways. You're in your
I haven't heard anything. That's what prompted me to speak to our caucus and for me to spearhead a press release hoya. So I wanted this press release to come out, and I wanted us to take certain action as official opposition. Right? Because I wasn't hearing anything. And coming like my roots are community roots. And I felt how come we're not seeing any action here?
Yes, of course. ਨਾਲੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਕੋਈ ਇਸ ਮੁਲਕ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤਰੱਕੀ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ, ਉਹ ਆਪਣੀ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਵਧਾਉਂਦੇ ਆ. ਹੁਣ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਡਰ ਹੋਗਾ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਕਰੀਏ ਜਾਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਆਪਣੀ ਮਸ਼ਹੂਰੀ ਐਡਵਰਟਾਈਜ਼ਿੰਗ ਕਰੀਏ, ਸਾਡੇ ਤੇ ਕੋਈ ਹਮਲਾ ਨਾ ਕਰੇ. People are feeling really apprehensive to be out there in the public. Because they don't want to say, oh, I'm a successful business owner. So it's kind of, counterproductive in a way, because they want to make their business grow, but at the same time, they're a target.
I'd also like to say that a partisan chakkar nahi hai. I honestly, I would like to see some solution. So if the government needs some help, in this press release, it wasn't just like, saying all these negative things about the government. It's also some action items that the government can take and they can adopt. And it will make a difference for the community.
Let's go through those, Steve, because you have it outlined and I have it here. So like take your time with it and explain to us what can be done, because we do need a solution. You're right. It's not any party. It's insaniyat, and it's South Asian business people specifically. So let's go through these. Conservatives are calling on the NDP government to enact the following. Steve, go ahead.
So, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਹੈਗਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਅੱਗੇ ਨਿਊਜ਼ ਸਟੋਰੀ ਆਈ ਸੀ ਕਈਆਂ ਨੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਵੀ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਐਂਡ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਪੈਸੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੇਣੇ ਚਾਹੀਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਰਾਈਟ ਐਂਡ ਫਿਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖੋ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿਉਂ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਹੋਗੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਰਾਈਟ why didn't people just deal with the police from the get-go?
That's right.
So we need to have some sort of initiative to kind of encourage community da jada involvement hove with the police, with the provincial government. So this a first point up on likha haga out of 7 points in total.
Yeah.
Partner with South Asian businesses to rebuild trust with law enforcement.
That's so important.
Right?
Yeah.
So a partnership honi chahidi hai.
Yes.
Je kisse da koi idan da kos incident hunda haga extortionists aa jande hege a ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਉਹ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਇਦਾਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ they should have some comfort.
Yes.
Comfort ਉਹ ਫਿਰ ਉਹ hesitate ਨਾ ਕਰਨ ਉਹ reach out ਕਰਨ
Yes.
to the proper authorities, right? So there needs to it can't be like a top-down thing. There has to be a partnership.
Right.
Right.
And that trust.
Yes.
To get that trust.
So that's the first point. And the dusra point hai hai launch anonymous multilingual reporting hotlines for extortion cases.
We don't have that.
We don't have it.
Oh, ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ Steve.
So ਜੇ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ hotline ਹੋਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਈ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਬੋਲਦੇ ਹਿੰਦੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ right and anonymous ho sakde hege right you see organizations that are non-governmental like Crime Stoppers anonymous tips karte hege but we need something focused on extortion and from the government right
so anonymous da matlab pe jadon tusi phone karde ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛਣਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਨਾਮ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਿਰਫ ਦੱਸਣਾ ਵੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਵੀ ਇਸ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੇ extortion ਕਰਨਾ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਇਸ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੂੰ ਖਤਰਾ ਆ and just information ਹੀ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਪਰ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ that's anonymous
ਜੀ
okay so ਸਾਨੂੰ hotline ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਆ
so basically anonymous ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ anonymous ਉਹ identify ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ
ਆਪਣਾ ਨਾਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੱਸਣਾ
yes
just information ਦੇਣੀ ਆ
ਜੀ
anonymous ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਫਿਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਡਰ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਦੱਸਣ ਲੱਗੀ ਆ ਉਹ ਫਿਰ that fear is gone
ਜੀ so that goes back to like ਜਿਹੜਾ trust to facilitate that trust je bande in trustworthy nahi hage there's some anonymous capability to deal with this right because we need the police also needs help for gathering information so they need the community's help
it's actually good Steve karke je sade kol information hobe ta assi sochi pe hun main kenu dassa if I know something I think oh gosh who can I tell karke I don't want someone to come after me so if there's an anonymous phone line that's safe for me and I can get someone else saved at the same time okay point number 3
so point 3 like close loopholes and ensure quicker convictions for intimidation and extortion so je hun investigation koi hundi hai and then basically court process chal raha hai there should be a high priority to put on from the government saying this is a public interest and we want high priority on these extortion cases that are coming from the South Asian community right so bandiyan nu pata lage from the community confidence ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਹੋਰ ਹੌਸਲਾ ਵਧੇ that ਜੇ ਕੋਈ ਫੜਿਆ ਉਹ ਛੁੱਟਣਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ trial ਚੱਲੂਗਾ court process ਚੱਲੂਗਾ right and then they'll have some confidence right
changi saza ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲੇ changi like the fair and just
well justice needs to be served right so je koi crime karde hage justice needs to be served
they really need to take it seriously because if it's just a slap on the wrist please don't extort I mean what is that they really need to have some sort of ramification
so apa kafi date they unrelated to this particular topic our official opposition has been very vocal about public safety issues right that is an ongoing theme
always
but this is a little bit on that line but this is specific to this extortion stuff
I know the conservative platform has always been, you know, more punishment fitting the crime and not just a catch and release type thing.
We need to have focus on victims. Right? And people need to care about victims. Right now in the community, victims feel karde hage, ona de nahi right hage. When people just want to peacefully live. They want to enjoy life.
Of course.
They should be able to walk where they want to walk. Somebody shouldn't have to worry, okay, maybe ਆਪਾਂ condo ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਹੀਏ because I don't want to live on a detached house that's, you know, entrances from the sidewalk because it's, I view that safety as an issue, right? We live, people immigrate to this beautiful place here. A lot of people come to this place for safety reasons.
Yes.
And so that has been the past image.
Yes.
So I think we need to do more to kind of, you know, keep that going, right?
Absolutely.
Some people are thinking about, okay, maybe it's not safe. Maybe we should go back to where we came from.
And people have.
Yeah.
This is the first time I think in history people are leaving. We'll talk about India because that's where I'm from, and I'm assuming you're from there too. Your family.
Yes.
Kei log India to jade ithe aaye sage, ਉਹ ਮੁੜ ਕੇ ਚਲ ਗਏ ਕਰਕੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਪਿਆ ਇੱਥੇ ਜੋ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸੋਚਿਆ ਸੀ ਉਹ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂ so we need to bring that Canadian spirit back, I guess, that safety. So yes, so number 4.
So 4, work with the federal government to increase penalties for organized crime, extortion, and intimidation cases, including deportation for foreign nationals.
That's a big one.
ਹੁਣ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੁਣਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਸਾਡੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸ਼ੱਕ ਆ ਕਈ ਬੰਦੇ legitimately ਨਹੀਂ ਆਏ ਹੈਗੇ ਇੱਥੇ for example ਕਈ ਬੰਦੇ ਕਹਿ ਕੇ ਆਪਾਂ student basis ਤੇ ਆਏ ਹੈਗੇ but they're not real students and ਕਈ ਬੰਦੇ ਸ਼ੱਕ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ maybe there's some criminal element in there ਜੇ ਹੁਣ ਸ਼ੱਕ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ that shock shouldn't be ignored. ਉਹ ਸ਼ੱਕ ਨੂੰ ignore ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਉਹਦਾ ਵੀ investigation ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ maybe there might be some truth to that, and ਜੇ truth ਹੈਗਾ the action needs to be taken.
Right. What kind of action, Steve?
Well, action that basically foreign national ਹੈਗੇ you could have like how are they getting into the country first of all?
That's the first point.
Right. That's the first point. And then secondly, what can you do to kind of stop those foreign nationals actually getting here?
Yes.
Right. You might have to have some international cooperation.
Right.
I believe that's the next point.
Before you move on to the next point, I'm just thinking about if somebody comes to this country, you're saying, great, welcome to the country. But if you're a bad person, a criminal, then we need to deport.
Yes. So our country is welcoming.
Yeah.
Right. We, you know, peace-loving people at welcome hagia.
That's right.
But people also want to preserve their safety, public safety, right? So, so there's a huge issue around the talk of the immigration topic right now.
Okay.
And one big issue there is public safety related. Like the people jede hun aa chuke hege people can actual students hege ja nahi sige, right? And because the system became so open and less checks and balance hoye si, right? So some people ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਦੇਖਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ.
So Steve, ਮੈਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੀ ਸੀ ਮੈਂ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਕੋਈ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਕ੍ਰਿਮੀਨਲਸ ਹੈ ਇੱਥੇ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਤੋਂ ਲਾਈਕ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਾਹਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਟਾਪ ਕਰਦੇ ਤਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇੱਥੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਵੀ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਪੇਪਰ ਬਣਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ. You can get a police clearance certificate, ਪੈਸੇ ਦੇ ਕੇ ਕੁਝ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬਣਵਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਤੋਂ. That's terrifying.
I don't know the specifics. I haven't looked at that specific issue. But if there is if there's truth to that, the government really needs to look at that too. And then the government needs to maybe have some sort of cooperation with the foreign government to kind of have some enforcement so those people are stopped where they're coming from.
Absolutely.
Right? You see thode saal pehlan fraud call ਆਉਂਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ CRA ਤੋਂ you have ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ fine ਦੇਣਾ ਪੈਣਾ ਹੈਗਾ but ਉਹ ਬੰਦੇ ਫੜੇ ਗਏ ਸੀਗੇ call center ਫੜੇ ਗਏ ਸੀਗੇ right because there was a foreign action ਹੋਈ on their own citizens and now we're not receiving ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜੇ fraud call ਨਹੀਂ ਆ ਰਹੇ from CRA right now right so there's one you know one example if you cooperate with the foreign if you have foreign cooperation internationally, you can stop some crime, international crime from happening.
Very good example.
Right?
Yeah, okay, so point number 5?
So point 5, establish a joint task force between establish a joint task force between the RCMP and the local enforcement, law enforcement in British Columbia to address increased transnational crime across the province. Now, we apa sunya da hega the RCMP, the Federal Police Force. I believe I read somewhere that they were saying that they're doing more with the local law enforcement.
Okay.
But it's one thing. It's one thing the police force is saying they're doing that. There needs to also importance hona chahiye hega provincial government to.
Okay.
Provincial government kehve importance haga, we're going to do whatever it takes to help the police forces to kind of organize, to kind of have smooth communication.
Yes.
And apan dasna haga sade liye bhi important haga is cheez. Apan provincial government halon ki kar sakde hege to help the police forces.
Right. It's all about connecting together and working together. From what you're saying. Point number 6.
So improve international cooperation, extradition, and foreign crime financing. So basically, jiri gal apan karke hate haga international cooperation di lod hai to stop the crime before it even gets to Canada.
Right. And point number 7.
So investigate foreign organized. So basically, just to shed light on this next point, there's been some allegations because we come from, like you said, you come from India. My parents come from India.
Yeah,
right?
That's right.
So basically, sada jada immigration hai, wo bhi India to honda hai, right? So basically, there's connection still between Canada and India.
Of course.
So now with the community here, kayiyan ne kiya hai, basically, jada sade na crime hoya hai, wo home country to aaya hai, right?
Yes.
Maybe ote hon nama immigration jo aa raha hai, maybe bande asli student nahi sege, but maybe criminal element hai. So is karke you need to have some sort of je koi shak hai adan di odi investigation honi chahidi hegi right je tusi investigation karde hege then you can cooperate with jeda foreign government hegi right.
Yes.
So basically this last point, investigate foreign organized crime in BC, especially any sort of alleged ties to say India.
That's
right.
Yeah.
So basically je saadi community keh rahi hegi wo sochde hai koi shak hai that should be investigated because then je koi tie labde hege then we can talk to the foreign country.
Yes.
And then we can say okay crime ho raha hega, how can we help you to kind of stop this, just keep it there. Right.
Yeah.
Because no country, I think no country in the world wants one of the reputation the asar pe, right? So like I gave an example earlier about the CRA example, jede calls aa rahe sege from India, do utte investigation hoiyan, the local police forces there in India, they I don't know what the exact word is when they round up where it's happening, and then they ki kehte hain Punjabi shapa marya
right? That's right.
Right. So basically that's when you get involved, right?
Yes.
But first you got to find out, is there an actual tie?
Right.
Je tie haga, then you can go talk to that foreign government.
And connect, absolutely. So I think everybody from law enforcement to governments to citizens, getting that hotline, everybody needs to come together and make sure that we have safety.
Yes.
Steve, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ press release initiate ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀਗਾ, thank you for this, because we need to be talking about these things. And if the BC NDP government is saying they want inclusion and equality, let's talk to them about this. So I want you to give a message. ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਕ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ final message ਦੇ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ.
ਮੇਰਾ final message ਇਹੀ ਆ, ਦੇਖੋ ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ community ਤੋਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂਆਤ ਕੀਤੀ, ਮੈਂ ਕਾਫੀ ਪਸੰਦ ਕੀਤਾ to be involved in the community before politics. And ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੇਰਾ community involvement ਹੈ ਉਹ ਤੋਂ ਮੈਂ politics ਗਿਆ ਹੈਗਾ. And ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ politics ਗਿਆ ਹੈਗਾ, ਮੇਰੀ ਪੂਰੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਹੋਣੀ ਹੈਗੀ to help the community in whichever way I can. So one way the community can help me, that the community ਮੈਨੂੰ help ਕਰ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ, ਜੇ ਕੋਈ issue ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕੰਟੈਕਟ ਕਰਕੇ ਦੱਸਣ ਕੀ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, ਫਿਰ ਮੈਂ ਉਹ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਚੱਕ ਸਕਦਾ ਲੈਜਿਸਲੇਚਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਵਿਕਟੋਰੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲਈ. ਸੋ ਮੈਂ ਹਾਜ਼ਰ ਹਾਂ, ਜਿੰਨੇ ਵੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਕੰਸਰਨ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, ਮੈਂ ਜੇ ਬੜੇ ਕੋਈ ਕੰਸਰਨ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਮੈਂ ਰੇਜ਼ ਕਰੂੰਗਾ. ਐਂਡ ਸੋ ਬੇਸਿਕਲੀ ਮੇਰਾ ਇਹੀ ਆ ਟੂ ਦ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ, ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਖੜਾ ਹੈਗਾ. ਐਂਡ ਮੈਂ ਪਬਲਿਕ ਆਫਿਸ ਲਈ ਰਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀਗਾ because I really want to help the community. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think it's lovely how you're at Reflections Banquet Hall, watching and listening and thinking there's a problem, to now being instrumental in making a change. So thank you so much for talking to us, MLA Steve Kooner.
Sat Sri Akal ji.
Sat Sri Akal. ਇਹ ਸੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਅੱਜ ਦਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਉਮੀਦ ਹੈ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਸੰਦ ਆਇਆ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੁਝ ਦੱਸਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਆਪਣਾ ਕਮਿਊਨੀਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਕਰੋ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਟੀਵ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਕੰਟੈਕਟ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੇਵਾਂਗੇ ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਫॉर ਵਾਚਿੰਗ ਵੀਲ ਸੀ ਯੂ ਅਗੇਨ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਟਾਈਮ ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ